What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Man City video where it's preview time with Man City taking on Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. This game taking place at the Etihad Stadium with Premier League match day number 2. It's Man City's first home game of the season on Saturday 23rd of August 2025 with a 12:30 PM BST kickoff time, with the game being broadcast live on TNT Sports in the UK. Anybody heading to the Etihad, do have a fantastic time. Now, having a look at this result from last season, this is a game where Man City can certainly make some improvements. We lost 4-0 at home against Spurs in the Premier League last season, so if Man City want to well and truly be back and challenging right at the top of the Premier League, then they've got to try and look towards making some improvements from last season, and Tottenham at home is definitely one of them games where I'm looking towards seeing just how good Man City are and how much progress they've made in the last year or so. So, having a look then at our opponents, Tottenham Hotspur, formed in 1882, led by manager Thomas Frank, who they brought in from Brentford, a fantastic manager in my opinion. Tottenham find themselves third in the Premier League after their first game with a 3-0 win against Burnley last weekend. In terms of their recent form, obviously picked up the win last weekend at home against Burnley. The game before that, they played in the European Super Cup. They were 2-0 up Tottenham against PSG before blowing it thanks to 2 late goals from PSG, and PSG went on to win the penalty shootout and lift the trophy. So a bit unfortunate that from Tottenham Hotspur, but certainly playing some good stuff in this game. Not going to be easy at all for Man City. Now, having a look at their business that they've done in the summer window so far, they've brought in Mohamed Kudus from West Ham, a fantastic signing. They've made the signing of Tel permanent from Bayern Munich. They've also brought in Polina on loan from Bayern Munich as well. But they're not bringing in Ebrechi Eze from Crystal Palace, as it looks like he is off to Arsenal instead. And Tottenham maybe want to start focusing on trying to bring in Savinho from Manchester City. In terms of their outgoings, Heung-min Son's left to go to LAFC over in the USA. Højbjerg's left to go to Marseille, and Mikey Moore's left on loan to join Rangers in the major bits of business involving Tottenham Hotspur so far in this window. Having a look at their dangers, they're missing quite a few players, which I'll speak about in just one moment, but they have got some problematic players. Could be Richarlison starting up top. His future's a bit uncertain at Spurs right now, so if it's not going to be Richarlison, who did score against Burnley in their last game, then it could be Tel starting as their striker. But I'm looking towards their wingers where the dangers are. Kudus and Johnson, two very good dynamic wingers, like to get forward, like to cause problems, like to take their men on. So our fullback's going to have a very busy game in this match. So it'll be interesting to see if Man City choose to go with Rico Lewis or if they're going to go with Matheus Nunes, a quicker player playing at right back, and they could be looking to try and man mark someone like Johnson out of the game. And Ait-Nouri did a fantastic job for Manchester City last week against Wolves away. Could be in for another busy game taking on Kudus of Tottenham Hotspur. Having a look elsewhere, they've got plenty of runners in midfield, including the likes of Gray, Bergvall and Sarr. They've got a very good defence, plenty of pace in defence as well. They've got fullbacks that like to get forward, and they've got a real good goalkeeper as well. All round, a very good team, a team that should have been doing far better in the Premier League than what they did last season, but they did show glimpses of being really good last season, Tottenham Hotspur, albeit very inconsistent in the Premier League. And as far as I'm concerned, Tottenham's best performance came against City at the Etihad Stadium, and that's the kind of performance that they're going to be looking for from their team for this game as well, if they are to come out and get the 3 points against City. In terms of their injury news though, they're missing some real important players. 3 of these players are players that could have been so important for Spurs in this game. Kulusevski, how often does he do very well against City? Well, he's going to be missing the game, and there's rumours that he's going to be out until 2026. James Maddison, very unfortunate to pick up an ACL injury, so we're wishing him a very speedy recovery, but he's going to be missing from this game. And again, a huge absentee for Spurs because he ripped Man City to shreds last season, and also missing Yves Bissouma as well. Some power and presence in their midfield, so some big blows there for Spurs to be missing in this game. But City have also got their fair share of injuries, and we're missing a few players as well, which could end up maybe been quite costly. Spurs also missing Solomon, Take and Dragusin all out. I'm expecting Udogie to be returning for Spurs. Not sure if he'll start, but I'm expecting him to return to the squad. So I'm expecting Spurs to line up with a 4-3-3 formation. Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro on one side, Jed Spence on the other. If it's not going to be Jed Spence, then I think it's going to be Udogie given the nod ahead of him. It's going to be Romero and Van der Ven starting as their two centre-backs. As I said, there's plenty of pace there. Van der Ven, a rapid centre-back. So, City do have to be wary of that, and I think it's important to try and get Spurs onto the back foot, and ultimately it's going to come down to what it came down to last week as well. We're going to have opportunities. We've got to be clinical. We've got to put our opportunities away if we want to win this game. Obviously. In midfield, Gray, Bergvall and Sarr, Kudus on one side, Johnson on the other, potentially Richarlison starting up top. So it does mean you've got options like Udogie, Tell, Bentancur, Solanke, Polina, all from the bench, even Ben Davis as well. All good options. A good squad there from Tottenham Hotspur as far as I'm concerned. Just maybe missing one or two quality signings to be brought in. And once they manage to get their players back fit as well, will look like a really solid Premier League unit. Now, Manchester City formed in 1894, led by manager Pep Guardiola, find ourselves first in the Premier League. We won our last game last weekend 4-0 away from home against Wolves to send us top of the Premier League. In terms of our transfer news, if you wasn't aware, so any Tottenham fans tuning in may not be aware, we brought in James Trafford from Burnley. We've signed Marcus Bettinelli from Chelsea as well. Two goalkeepers brought in. Rayan Ait-Nouri from Wolves has been brought in. Zaveri Naipan has been brought in from Rosenborg. Ryan Cherky's been brought in from Lyon. And Tijjani Reijnders brought in from AC Milan. There's some rumours going around in particular about some players leaving. So Ederson could potentially leave City, and there's been some links going in. We've done a rumour from PSG, and we've been linked with other goalkeepers as well. Rodrigo's been linked from Real Madrid as well to potentially replace Savinho, who Tottenham Hotspur are trying to bring in as well. So we'll see what does happen. Akanji, Ake, Gundogan, they've all been linked with the exit door as well. So I'm expecting further clarity on some of these players' futures, in particular from Pep Guardiola's squad selection for this game, and also his press conference, which at the time of recording hasn't taken place yet in the build-up to this match. In terms of our outgoing, Scott Carson, Jack Grealish, Kyle Walker, Vita Hayes, James McAtee, Zaveri Naipan, Claudio Echeverri and Kevin De Bruyne have all left the club. I'm expecting Calvin Phillips and Stefan Ortega to leave Man City as well before transfer deadline day. We've got some question marks over Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, Ilkay Gundogan, Ederson and Savinho. So we'll see if any of these players make the squad or start this game, because you can read between the lines and get a good impression about where players' futures lie going off, what it's looking like when they get selected or not for competitive games. Now, Man City have dangers all over the pitch, but we are missing some important players. Rodri continuing his full recovery from his ACL injury, and I'm not expecting him to be available for Man City just yet. And if I'm honest, I wouldn't run any risks. I wouldn't make Rodri available until after the international break in September. Savinho was injured, so we'll see if he's back. I'm not expecting him to be back. Bettinelli was injured again. Not expecting him to be back. Kovacic and Calvin Phillips are getting over their operations from the summer, so I'm expecting their recovery to continue over this game, and probably our game against Brighton away next week as well. Phil Foden and Josko Gvardiol have been training. They could make the squad, and I am waiting for an update on Ederson's illness. So, in terms of my team prediction, I'm going to pop that up now for you guys. I'm going James Trafford deserves to start, should be given the nod here ahead of Ederson, but I wouldn't rule out Ederson starting this game, as he has been training and is or should be fit and available for selection. We'll see if that is the case. I don't change the winning team, so going with Rico Lewis, John Stones, Ruben Diaz and Rayan Ait-Nouri starting. I wouldn't rule out Matheus Nunes being given the nod, in particular just to maybe a bit fearful about the legs of Tottenham in midfield, and obviously they're going to look to try and target the wingers, so they may identify Rico Lewis as more of a weak spot here for City. But I thought Rico Lewis did so well last week that he deserves to be starting this game to see how he gets on, and if it's not working, then second half you bring Matheus Nunes on and you try and shut Tottenham Hotspur out, and obviously having the fresh legs of Matheus Nunes coming in at the back could be quite crucial. John Stone seems to be over his injury, so as we're playing once a week, I'd give him the nod and start him again in a consecutive game. Ruben Diaz recently just signed a new contract, a 4-year contract for City. I suspect he'll be starting, and I don't see any reason for Ait-Nouri to be dropped, so I'll go with him again. Don't change anything in midfield. It worked last week, so we're going with power and presence in our midfield. So Nico, Gonzalez, Bernardo, Silva, Tijjani, Reijnders, and we'll see what Tottenham Hotspur do to try and contain that midfield from Man City. Oscar Bob had a brilliant performance last week, so he gets the nod on the right wing. The ever dangerous Jeremy Doku starts on the left wing. You know, if Pedro Porro wants to get forward and he's going to give space for Jeremy Doku, then that could be detrimental for Tottenham Hotspur. In particular, what I'm expecting from this game, I think first team to score going to be so crucial, because I think the first team that does score goes on to win this game, with Erling Haaland starting up top. As I said, why change things? We won 4-0 last week. I wouldn't change a thing and just see how things go, and if things aren't working, change it up in the second half. I do have a feeling that Ederson's going to be available in the squad, so he's going to at least make the bench. Matheus, Cherki, Gundogan, Foden, Gvardiol, Nunes, O'Reilly, Kadir, all good options from the bench here for Man City as well. Now, in terms of my score prediction, what's that I smell? Goals. I am certain that it is going to be a goal fest here, so I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say, with Spurs missing so many key players, Man City wanting revenge, that Manchester City are going to try and get revenge for that last season humiliation, and I'm going for goals to be scored in this game, and I'm going with 4-2 to Manchester City. I'm going goals for Haaland, Reijnders, Doku and John Stones, and I reckon Kudus and Johnson are going to get a bit of success for Spurs, and I'm going for them to score for Tottenham. Now, in terms of my betting tips, I'm certain of both teams to score, so I'm going to go both teams to score, and I'm also going to back both teams to score in both halves, which I think is a really interesting bet, and my betting tip for this match. Now, next up, Man City take on Brighton away next Sunday with a 2 p.m. BST kickoff time. Tottenham Hotspur, they're back at home. They're taking on AFC Bournemouth next Saturday at 3 p.m. BST. Last note, I am going to be doing another live watch along for this game. I'm going to have the link out later on today for you to go and set your reminders for. I will be live at 12 p.m. BST midday tomorrow for you guys, so I will see you then. So that has been today's preview. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up. Do get your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. It is free to subscribe. Social media links are in the description if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you all again real soon for the next video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.